Okay, our fire and safety folks are checking out the track. And we are getting ready for a 150 lap, $15,000 to win Senators Cup Open Comp Race. One of the best races of the whole year right here at the Bullring.
All right, Evan, you ready for the main event? Because I am. It's time to get going here from the Bullring. 150 laps of open comp action at the Senators Cup Fall Classic. Some people make $15,000 a year. Some people make $15,000 a day. Some people make $15,000 an hour. One of these drivers is gonna have to make $15,000 in just 150 laps. Definitely one of the events that we circle on our calendar. A fun one out here. Super late models hit the track. Notables in this one, the top two fast qualifiers. Derek Thorne starts third based off of an invert. He was a track record breaker, as well as Jeremy Dawson, the 75. Those top two breaking the track record. Lenny White in the number 99, looking to go 3 in a row. Oh boy, the storylines and the competition all throughout this field. I'm ready when you are.
And starting it off from up front, the number 27. Hometown driver of Jay Beasley will start from pole position. As you just noted, 99 and Lenny White get to join him on the front row, the number 99. Derek Thorne and Jeremy Doss make up row number 2, starting 3rd and 4th respectively. The 66B of Jeff Bishopberger will start 5th, with Rod Johnson's number 10 rolling from P6. Austin Herzog will start tonight in 7th position. Outside of row 4, joining him, the 12 of Brad Kosau. You got Trevor Huddleston starting 9th tonight. Justin Johnson in 10th. And another big name in this one, that bright orange on the 8 of Noah Gregson. Will start from 11th and be joined by Braden Havens. Row number 6 to 27M of John Moore starts tonight in 13th position, with Scott Gaffarini in 14th. Chris Klein, 15th position. Ryan Vargas in 16th. Brian Grand in 17th tonight. Brittany Zamora in 18th position, with Kayla Eschleman in 19th. Brandon White in 20th. Kaylee Barker qualifying in through those B features earlier tonight, 21st, with Mitch Klein in 22nd, Warren Nipper in 23rd, and Grayson Raz in 24th position. This look top to bottom at your starting grid.
So Grayson Raz in the number 20. It was Stan Willis that originally brought this car to the track to compete, but Grayson Raz, who crashed in practice yesterday, they were able to change over the seat, and Mullis apparently said, sure, go right ahead. And Grayson Raz, that car qualified in through the heat races, and since it's not a car change, only a driver change, he will have to start at the tail of the field.
And we basically doubled the size of the field on the biggest event up until this point. We knew that this was going to be the main attraction. Everybody wants to get the $15,000 check. The Governor's Cup tonight. U.S. Senator for the state of Nevada, Dean Heller, going to drop the green flag from the flag stand when the lights go off on top of the pace car.
All right, lights out from the pace car. Jim Richter letting them know that next time by, when the green flag waves, 150 laps to settle the score in the annual Fall Classic here, the Senators Cup Fall Classic. Evan, it's been fun, and now we get down to business. Main event starts now.
And with Jay Beasley starting on a pole position, he hopes to finish where he starts. As we look for the green flag into turn number 4, going racing for the 2017 Senators Cup Open Comp 150 from the Bullring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Quickly into P3 in this one. The number 99 entry. Beasley from up front is able to stay in front. That 43 machine, Eric Thorne goes +1 to get the P2. Jeremy Doss 4th. Jeff Bischenberger up a bit to P5 as the first side-by-side fight right there with that 50 machine. Trevor Huddleston trying to hold off and successfully so far over Brad Kozow. That 8 machine of Noah Gregson has won in a super late model at the Bullring this year. Raced just a couple of weeks before he raced his NASCAR Cayman Road truck at the big track. Led laps and won that race off of a late race restart. He's trying to move forward. Runs at about 9th at the moment. The side-by-side action continues behind him.
Back here in the back, the B-main Bombers coming to work their way to the front. Klein in the number 1 machine, the wild one, getting some heat by Beasley. As your lead battle is hot into turn number 1.
And that 43 machine of Thorne was quick out of the gate, immediately went from 3rd to 2nd, but he wants to get the race lead away. Jay Beasley has led all the way to this point, the opening 5 laps of contest, but no more. 43, new race leader. And not only that, but Lenny White follows him through, so Beasley falls all the way to 3rd as we pick up the battle with the 8 of Gregson fighting the 11 of Herzog as Gregson wants to get up to 8th. He does, so +2.
And this is the settle-in time. It's maybe not apparent to some of these drivers, but the first 75 usually in this race are the ones that you settle out your car, you figure out what you got, make your adjustments at the halfway break, and then go for the kill in the remaining parts of the race. Battle up here, Huddleston and Johnson.
50 machine of Johnson has the spot at the moment, and Huddleston will get that spot away from Rod, so they swap out 6th and 7th at the racetrack, and I think for a very slight moment, single file through at least the top 10. There is still a lot going on through this 24-car field. That 11 machine right there, Herzog, has fallen back to 11th spot, trying to hold off Scott Gaffarini behind him.
Scott Gaffarini, the 38, a legend out here. He's won championships. He's done it all at the Bullring. And right behind him, 2016, 2017, Bullring Super Late Model Champion, Justin Johnson. He's starting to have to work his way through the field, starting mid-pack. So he's got to, into turn 3, some contact. And Justin Johnson, I was just going to say, he's going to have his hands busy, especially when drivers in front of him are beating and banging.
I think they both saw that one coming and did a good job of avoiding and taking out both of those race cars. It is going to end up allowing Gaffarini to jump up in front of those two. So Herzog at 11 still wants to come back and do something with it. The 17 up on the outside of Justin Johnson. Only driver in that entire group on the outside lane of the racetrack. Just got passed up by, looks like maybe the 14 machine to the inside. And it'll pay the favor back. A lot of contact that time of the 4 between the two. One way to get the spot back.
Oh, and that all created a stack of drivers side by side, trying to figure this one out. The 20 machine, Grayson Raz, moving his way forward. More in the 27, slipping back. Another B-main bomber, and this one the 19 of Brandon White. Battling forward. I'm going to go to the lead down the back straightaway. Brandon White, 2-time champion of this event, looking for 3 in a row this weekend. He's got that nose tucked underneath the back end of the 43. Battle for the lead.
And they're making each other more competitive. This fighting is not hurting them. They have pulled the distance on 3rd on back. At time, race leader earlier on tonight, Jay Beasley, has fallen all the way to 5th, but it might not even end there as he now drops to P6. Jeremy Doss up to 3rd. You got Jeff Bischenberger up to P4. And now Trevor Huddleston in 5th. So Beasley finally in that 27 to find the spot in line just in front of the 10 of Rod Johnson.
A lot of comers, a lot of goers. And there's trouble on the oil on the track or something. And Vargas in the 48V goes into the wall. Moore slides into the 19 of White. It's trouble over in turn number 3. Wasn't sure if there was oil on the track. The way those 3 cars plowed the wall.
At the same time.
Yeah.
There's a good bit of damage. the right front of the number 27. That 19 is backed up against the fence. Talking about how at the stockyard down there in 3 and 4, you get a good view of the cars coming at you. That time, literally, they slid right up to the fence and try to see if we can get a second look at everything that happened.
Well, that was a really fast 20 laps. But it looks like for two drivers, it's going to come to an end at this point in the race. White and Vargas.
Okay, so we got Derek Thorne, Lenny White, Jeremy Doss.
And that car going on the hook.
You see the 19 of White going around. Vargas up ahead to the center of your screen, way up high. He's already in the slide. More.
The 27, I think, just had nowhere to go as the 2 split in front of him.
Everybody else doing a good job to avoid. So maybe not oil.
Makes you wonder if those two had gotten into each other,
Yeah.
and then the 27, kind of an innocent third-party victim in that. It's kind of tough the way that they were spinning, but
yeah, the 27 was not sideways going into that one. He hit with the nose.
maybe got stuck in it if there was any oil put down from those spinning cars already. But I think that when the guy in front of you gets turned sideways, that 27 just can't do anything, locks it up, and ends up with a pretty good shot.
A couple of these spotters now packing up and walking away. Not the best sight to see here at the Bullring. 20 laps into a 150 lap race.
Well, $15,000 will make you go for it.
That's true. They're picking up the 19 right now of White, who has had an up and down weekend.
So a couple of those caution flag laps count into our total, but I'm going to pause that. So we will sit under caution at lap number 22.
Asherman in the 09. I'm looking as she drives by us on the front straightaway. She's got some damage on that right front. No tire rub that we can see. Can't say anything until we go back to green if that tire rub will come about or not. Justin Johnson and Chris Klein, 17 and 14 cars, they made some contact over in turn number 3 and 4. Seems to be okay for the most part. They continue on. And really, as a driver in this race, Fall Classic, you've got what you got until you get that break. You cannot change tires. You can only add fuel and make minor adjustments.
75 laps is still a long ways away. Just ask Jay Beasley, who started from pole and got a good start, got off, took it away up front, and has since fallen to P6 since that time.
Yeah, for the 27 to Beasley, you got to hope that you're not going to sink all the way down. So with the competition level here, slipping back, you can lose 2-3 spots as you're stuck on the outside, and that adds up after a while. See a black and pink number 09. Here she comes. You see that right front curled up. Kayla Eshelman has some right front damage. Still trying to get the 19 of Brandon White picked up and moved on.
Someone's hanging in the car, trying to do something.
I wonder if it's stuck in gear or something. Yeah, you see them rocking the car. Hit the wall so hard that rear end is locked up. Transmission doesn't want to go into neutral.
And it does not do the car any favors if you're pulling it and the back tires aren't spinning.
Exactly.
Car's already hurt, but you don't want to hurt it that much more.
See the tow truck. I saw it starting to move. I wonder if it's going to give it a tug and maybe see It'll help out. People over at the stockyard, I guess, you know, that's part of that extra admission. If they're going to crash, they're going to crash in your lap. And I guess it's rolling. See the back wheels turning. And the cleanup's still going on. They're going to have to pick up the pieces. There is somewhat of an leak there. And they're going to let it go.
I think if you're that high,
You're in the
turn
wall.
3, you've already had you're already in trouble. I don't think
Yeah.
the oil is going to be what does you now.
Exactly.
And I don't think there's enough there that it's going to start leaking down the track.
Yeah.
They might put a splash of something here or there, but
I don't know. I'm sure they don't want it to run out. They don't want to use too much. See the 19 coming at you. Get a good look on this side.
what's left of the 19? It's not a pretty race car anymore.
Tore up from the floor, we'll call it.
Shove it in the trailer, deal with it tomorrow.
All right, so we're getting them double file, getting ready for the restart. Lap 22. Still lots and lots of laps in this one, and these double file restarts, it can get exciting. So it took about 22 laps to get them all single file to be, quote, settled in. But there are still battles going on throughout the field.
And it should be fun when we go back green up front with that 43 of Thorne in P1. You got Donnie Donna, Liddy Whitehead been making his way through the field up to the number 2 spot. Jeremy Doss, Jeff Bischofberger. P4, Trevor Huddleston rather. P5, Jay Beasley, Rod Johnson, Brad Kosau, with Braden Havens, Noah Gregson. Your top 10 will make up side by side the first 5 rows. Pace car back in. And we'll do it again. 22 laps complete at 150, but again en route to a midway race break at lap 75.
Oh, trouble back here. 38. Cafferini slips back. We got a big old swarm through turns number 3 and 4. Cafferini with a flat right front.
Try to get that back safely. He's got time before the leaders catch up to them. That car is slow. But I think it'll make it safely out of harm's way as here come the race leaders. 17 now with problems.
Now with a single issue, gotta wonder, is there something going down over in turns number 3 and 4?
We know from last night that's going to be Calamity Corner. That's where all the issues arise from. But when you see a couple of cars at least appear to have problems on their own, have to wonder if there was something else behind that issue for the 17 of Justin Johnson.
Take a look at the replay here. And you see the 12 machine up the track, and Johnson, you know what I saw? Take a look. Where that speedy dry was in the past. Gotta wonder, though, if he just overcooked the corner. Justin Johnson.
Right didn't help at that point.
Yeah, Justin Johnson, not one to make mistakes. 2-time champion out here this last couple years.
It looks like he got loose. I don't know if he had some help from that 2 wide behind, but then once you get up into the speedy dry, it doesn't do you any favors. But he did a good job of keeping that car out of the fence. And we slow them down again.
So we're going to count those cautions for a couple laps.
Safety crew taking a look at the high side at 3 and 4, just looking to see if there is anything down there, any debris left over maybe from that car that went spinning. But I think Johnson will be okay more or less.
So, just so you know, I might need you to get this guy, who is on the edge of out of control, as Harry Hogg would say. This gentleman here, we're up here with the spotters. If he moves forward anymore, I'm going to need you to go help me out and push him back, okay? Deal? All you got to do is grab him by the neck and pull him back. You know.
From the collar?
Yeah.
Got it.
And if
he seems like he'd be very understanding if I grabbed him by the collar. And
exactly, with that leather jacket.
Yeah. I believe lights off this time.
And
survey says.
Let's stay on.
Not quite. Although they have turned them off a couple of times tonight in turn 2, but it does take a little bit longer to double up this kind of a field. And no changes up front. It's still going to be Thorne and White side by side on the front row. Jeremy Doss, Jeff Bischofberger to make up row 2. They get to do it again. And the top 4 was about where it single filed out. It was 5th on the back where all the excitement was. Where eventually the 17 machine of Johnson ended up around. He'll restart 14th.
So Derek Thorne, the 43, has won some big events this year. Most notable, the Winter Showdown at the Kern County Raceway Park. That race with a 250-lap race that he won. It was so good, they're going to extend it another 15, make it around 300. Lenny White next to him, well, he's just trying to go for 3 in a row in this event. So some heavy hitters on the front row as we go back to green.
And it's another good challenge on the outside of the front row by White, but again, not going to be able to get there. And here comes the 75 of Dosh, trying to make it exciting. Had a nose on the inside of 3, but I think at a 4, clear is White. Huddleston into the picture now. The 50 car going to go topside. That is a side-by-side battle. What is 3rd on track. It is now a battle for P4 as the 75 clear of it all and a 66B. Bischofberger working the inside where he restarted.
So far so good, still trying to work it out. Trying to get single file, trying to pace yourself throughout this race. Though with the competition level, a lot of heavy hitters in this race. But know the Bullring well. That might not be the case throughout this 150 lap. There might not be any settling in.
And you can see the battle right now between the 75 and the 66 machine. Dodge trying to protect. On the outside of the racetrack is going to struggle to do so, and Bischofberger picks up another spot, so plus 2 or 3 now from the start.
Still battle throughout this track, the 83. And Haven slipping back on the high side. Here comes Casso to the inside. Battle up here, the 10 of Johnson to the inside of Beasley. So again, Beasley slipping back from that front row start.
Johnson's right there, and Johnson's not alone. He's going to bring 12 machine not all that far back as well, but Gregson in the 8 machine following through the number 20. On top of all of that too. One machine of Raz. 17 right back at it after having an issue in 3 and 4 that brought out a caution flag. Back in the rhythm of things is Justin Johnson. Finds a spot in line. All kinds of guys looking sideways at a turn 4.
Dawes taking a peek to the inside of White, who slips back to third, now fourth, as the 66 of Bischofberger on the hunt now. On the back bumper of Thorne, into turn number 1.
The 66 B machine. Bischofberger's been moving through the field, plus 2 spots since the last restart alone. Dawes, though, wanting to challenge back, and then just behind them, the Bernardi Dodge machine and Lindy White. Not going to be easy to shake him either. So the top 5, if you want to as well toss the 5th place car in line and all of this, Huddleston into the mix. Nice and tight still together, but the battle for the race lead very much looming, I feel. You can see that 66 even peeking to the apron a little bit. 2 left side tires below the yellow line. Tries to find a way by the 4-3.
Bischofberger not afraid to drop him if he's got him. Teammates duking it out second and third. And they're trying to formulate some sort of a plan to get ahead of that 43. Battle here behind for fourth, White and Huddleston. 2017 runner-up in the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series National Championship. And he gets by Lenny White in the 99. And the battle for the lead continues through turns number 1 and 2.
Still keep an eye on that battle for the race lead. It is very much a fight. You see how tight they are as they come by the start and finish line. Not a lot of separation between them. That 66 again, always on corner exit, dipping a little bit low, trying to maybe just flash the nose, convince that car in front that he's got more positioning than he may have, but 43 machine of Thor not going to easily fall for that one. Continues to race relatively unfazed, I'd say, for the 66 being all over him.
Good battle up front, single file through the field. We're nearing lap 45, so this first 75 really clicking away.
Halfway to the midway break since the restart.
And here comes Jeremy Dawes. Second fastest qualifier to the inside of Bischofberger for the second spot. And Dawes up to second now. With this side set up ahead for the lead, the 43 of Thorne. Now having to deal with the other teammate, Bischofberger.
When it was Bischofberger who was the one who was charging to the field, just like the 75 is now, but he got to the back bumper of the race leader, couldn't do anything with it. So 75 of Dawes isn't going to sit around and wait for him to figure it out. He goes, let me get a shot. He's right there as well on the left rear, but we have a caution and a car in the fence and the wall. It looks like it might
49.
be the 49 machine. It will be the 49 of Warren Nipper.
Nipper is around.
Almost identical spot. You can see the oil patch just to his right-hand side on where 17 ended up.
I'm believing to think that turn 3 is not an easy one to get into tonight. But either way, the 49 fires up and continues on, which is always good news. And the damage is very minimal, considering how many other cars have. He's actually going to pull it off the
Take
track.
it to the back. Didn't look that bad. Some right rear damage, but that car is going to go to the back. Wonder if it was a mechanical issue that sent that car around. But yeah, we're watching a battle for the race lead, other end of the racetrack.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, there's a car backed up to the fence, far side, 3 and 4. Which kind of fits in with the theme that we've been seeing. At that end of the racetrack is no bueno for most.
So I'm trying to see here who our highest B main bomber would be. And I'm looking through the field. And by my account, it will be... Do you remember if the 83 of Havens was in a B main? At all? Something tells me no.
We are 1/3 distance.
I honestly think it would be Barker in the number 34. Haley Barker. The 17 getting told to go back. Field's getting told by Tim Richter to double file.
And a short sprint to the end of this opening half. It'll be about 26 laps. Showing lap number 49 on the board as they revert back to the last time to lap when a yellow flag comes out. Thorne Doss going to be on the front row with Bischofberger, Huddleston, row 2. Lenny White, hard to lose the 99, the bright blue entry, 5th. With Johnson just to the outside in P6. Grayson Raz 7th, Noah Grangson up to 8th, Jay Beasley posted all the way down to 9th. That's the lowest he's been all night long. And Chris Klein through the top 10.
Field at the ready. We start lap number 49. 26 to go before we throw the caution on our halfway break. Through the gears, 75 of Doss to the outside. Thorne on the inside, battle for the lead. Thorne with a better exit out of 2. And trouble around 17 of Johnson. So, man, what a wild start to his Fall Classic in the main events. That is what you see right now. That tore up 17. Won the championship 2 years in a row out here at the Bullring. And not having a good go of it here this main event.
I was just looking, it's not a full moon. So for him, it just appears to be one of those nights, and
man,
lost a little bit of that car. You can see something sitting on the exit at turn 4 up against the wall, which may belong to that car. Safety officials on it, going to go collect that.
Should have a piece on the front straightaway as well. Remainder of his fender there. Put that in the truck and sell it on eBay. Rare crash damaged body part. So it looks like we're going to stop counting cautions at 52. Nipper going to get a lap back. He will go from 2 laps down to 1 lap down. Well, that worked out.
You can see that hole on the 17. That's where that piece came from. Just behind the right front tire.
The passenger's going to be happy now. He gets some air.
It's like a Jeep now.
Yeah.
2 to go at the line.
We'll try it again. I'm not sure how this one's going to play out again. I mean, Jeremy Doss through the gears was faster than Thorne, but out of turn number 2, I don't know if it was that outside groove or that 43's just got a powerhouse that no one can play with, but he rocketed out of turn number 2 and grabbed that lead back. So Jeremy Doss gets a try again. Bischofberger in 3rd. Huddleston in 4th. White and Johnson. Raz and Rex.
And it was a great restart for the 2 on the front row. They were fighting for the lead, but they had pulled car length or 2 on rows 2 out of back. So we will see mainly if Doss is able to recreate that kind of a restart on the outside. Obviously, if he can challenge for the race lead with the 43 in control on the inside, they come to a restart with 52 laps complete from Las Vegas. And again, there he is, topside. He's able to challenge, but at a turn 2, he just can't make it stick. Drops back in line P2, but's looking for the bumper. Doesn't want to roll over. Thorne still got it, though.
Well, now Thor knows that the 75 of DOS is there. Make no mistake, he wants that lead. That's out of 2 with a good exit. He's looking to the inside. Thorne slaps that door shut.
That was a game of check it in 3. He showed the nose, and Derek Thorne went and cut him off. The 75 really wanted. He could have forced the issue. We got a car backwards on the back of 49. All by himself at the moment. Again, Warren Nipper, who had just gotten a wave around to get back to being 1 lap down from 2 laps down. No caution yet, but if he stays there, yellow's going to drop. They're holding the yellow. Still green for the moment. Trying to give that car an opportunity to restart. And caution is now out. Held off for as long as they could, but
yeah,
got to go with 10 to Warren Nipper on the back straightaway. Car scored P20 right now. It's backwards, and when it rains, it pours. At that point, race control, they are headed to the back, not voluntarily.
You just heard what I heard. 2 and you're through ruling here. So 49 being told you are done for the night. Warren Nipper going to be out of this race on lap number 58. Black flag being displayed to the 49, and off the track they go. Tough break. I mean, he kind of had some movement in that 49. He was going to the front. Got caught up in a spin over in turns number 3 and 4 right in the center, and then whatever happened over in turn number 2 off camera was enough to bite the ghost.
So look at the top 5 as they run right now. 43, we should have Derek Thorne in the race lead. 75, Jeremy Doss, P2. Jeff Bischofberger, 66B, scored 3rd. Lenny White, number 99, in 4th. Grayson Raz in the 20, P5, 59 of 150 laps complete. This leaves us with 16 laps to go until the midway break.
Hang on, I'm going to go have to kick some butt.
This time by, 2 to go, so they will double them up and get set to go back green flag racing once more. Restart will be with 91 laps to go in the race, but again, racing to lap number 75. Field speeds up and gets set to go 2 by 2.
I feel like I was just walking into a spiderweb because Warren Nipper was told to pull off the track, and I went over to the spotter who was standing right in our camera way, And I said, hey, man, I didn't say much. I just said, I need you to step back. And he thought that I was the race director or something because I'd never seen a guy turn around so fast. So they're trying to plead that he was taken out. So who knows what's going to happen. But we go back to green. Restart lap 59.
Top side this time, I think the best jump that Doss has had. But again, outside in turn 2 just can't work. And 43 didn't give him a whole lot of space that time. And he'll get right to the bumper, delivered a message that he didn't appreciate it. And big hit there for the 17.
If Justin Johnson's night couldn't have gotten any worse,
Well,
it just did.
His night is done, but I can promise you, based on his luck, he is not headed to the casinos.
Well, I tell you what, you saw me go to the back of the field immediately on that restart. That was because there was all sorts of bumper banging. You see this number 1 machine over here of Klein.
A lot of front end
got
damage.
a lot of front end damage. That's all on the start of this race, or the restart of this race, and then something carried over to turns number 3 and 4. Now we got heavy damage on the front end of Johnson and the 12 machine.
And Johnson's trying to roll, but not sure if that car is going to get too far.
Let's see here, dial up what we have of a replay. We'll definitely have that big impact from Johnson.
I think that whole lap is a replay.
All right, so they're all getting crazy here. And boom, impact there. So we're going to slow this one down.
And the 17 was behind whatever piece of contact sent that first car around. Because you'll see in the frame, the car's already backwards, and very similar to an incident we saw earlier where the car behind all of it just couldn't go anywhere and got involved. Almost the same thing happened there with the 17, just a big hit, and that's heavy damage on both cars.
Yeah, and it's not like the 17 could have just turned away from it. He was committed to the lane that he was in. There just happened to be a car spinning up where he was going. I mean, there's no way you can turn right or left. He is on the brakes hard.
Well, you can see the 8 got by top side, so he was kind of in the middle. I'm trying to go higher. You can see the damage on the one there as well.
Where'd he go? And you know what? I mean, he's going to get some.
And it tore the whole right side off of that car that's parked down there.
The 12 of Casso.
I'll take your word because the 12 isn't on the door anymore because there is no door. Race control trying to reorder Chris Klein in the 14 machine. But it looks like they are going to bring him to a stop here in turn 2 as the cleanup efforts continue at the far end of the racetrack.
Red flag. Lap 63, we have the first red flag of the Super Late Models this weekend.
Okay, folks, so we've got a little bit of a cleanup here.
The main part of that is because the track is completely blocked.
So our safety crew are going to get that cleaned up as soon as possible. If you'd like to head up and
Casso and Johnson out of the race on lap number 63. Here comes Johnson's 17 ride. She does not look any prettier than what we figured.
And a lot more sheet metal to add to that other piece that came off earlier. That's what a bad night looks like.
That thing picked up when he hit the 12 machine. That thing just picked up that car and twisted it.
Here comes the 12.
Justin Johnson's
The side with the
NASCAR jacket.
sheet metal on it is the side that we get to see.
Yeah, right. Well, this is the last of that. The good side on this car. The only good side on this car, unfortunately. So that's our Wisconsin driver that Gonna have to go back to the Midwest without a right side body panel and more. Who knows what else is jacked up on that thing? So you field under red, all aligned. And this field's slimming down.
Okay, cars are moving. Looks like Mitch Klein, number 1 car. Got quite a bit of damage. I think
So turn 3 and 4 collects 2 more victims tonight. I have a feeling, based on the fact that we're not even halfway yet, that number will rise at some point.
Don't adjust your set, folks. We did not blur out the scoreboard for any reason. It's just those lights are bright. So the halfway point as we coming up here shortly, and we are going to see some of these drivers make adjustments. No tire changes, fuel, and minor adjustments are the only thing allowed. If you do, however, have to change out a tire, you're going to the back. So we're at a track like this where track position is key. The last thing you want to do is have a tire issue heading into the last 75 laps of this race.
And the speed that these cars go at, too, 75 laps, is not a lot of time.
Exactly.
So in a perfect world, you're up front. And it seems like the folks who have been running top 5 tonight have been fortunate enough to be in front of where most of the issues have been happening.
16 cars left on the track. We have eliminated 10, I believe. Or 8, I should say.
Yeah, we started with 24. So
Well,
that's what, a third of the field?
Yeah. That's Fall Classics known that it can be this way. I feel like we're right on par with any other one. 8 does return back to the track. The 8B back on track as we get ready to restart it. Lap 63 of 150. Technically, of 75, we want to count when we know we're going to have a halfway break caution.
So you got 12 laps
Yep.
to figure it out to the halfway point today. And then at that point, once we get back going, I think the gloves are off.
Yeah, that's when it's go time. If you got anything left in the tank, you can't really save it too much. 25 laps to go is that point where if you don't have what it takes, you're staying where you're at. Long ways to go to get to that point, though, as we bring the field back to the green, and we're back to racing.
See the challenge for the race lead again by Doss on the outside. This time a better run, though, into turn number 2, side by side, down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Doss with the best restart he's had all night long.
No trouble for Lenny White. He's to the infield. Something mechanically wrong with that 99
Watch
machine.
out, and he's going to be able to bring it to a stop, so no more issues. He's off the track. As we stay green and pick up that battle for the race lead. Thorne on the inside, Doss on the outside. The 75 is up 3 feet from clearing Doss. Wasn't able to do it, and now the 43 fights back on him, and they're keeping each other right there neck and neck. The 75 looks to cross him over on the left rear quarter panel. Loosened him up a little bit in the battle for the race lead. Another shot in turn 1, and he'll move him out of the way.
We are short track racing at the Bullring. Doss into the lead. Lap number 64. 66, I apologize.
tried it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and eventually you could see him setting up for it in 3, backed off, got in line, gave him a shot in turn 4, and then hit him again in 1. Didn't wreck him, but just enough of a tap to move that car up and out of the groove. And Derek Thorne now all of a sudden finds himself P2.
And you
Jeremy Doss leading.
And you know Thorne is not going to forget that one if there's a chance at a battle for this particular point or this spot in the race with just a handful of laps left to go.
When it looked like he was going right back after him when he went to turn 3, but it didn't get all the way to the back bumper. And you see still plenty of funny going on the racetrack, a little bit deeper back in the pack. 14 machine looks like clear for that spot, but even contact back there, a lot of contact with the 09, Cale Eschler.
She already had right front damage, so what the hell? It don't matter. They're coming up to that halfway break, they can patch it up and send it back out.
And then, well, the perfect sheet metal on that car was soiled as of yesterday, so a little bit of contact never hurt it.
Well, the field single file throughout this pack. 16 or 17 left on the racetrack. The closest battle is the one you're watching. Battle for the second spot. Bischofberger right tucked up underneath the back end of the 43.
Coming in 2 laps to go before the midway break, and as the 66B think that it's important enough to get that spot. I guess it's really, where do you want to restart when we go back, Green? Would you rather be outside of the front row, or would you rather be inside of row number 2 and 3rd? The 66 prefers the first of those two. Running out of time to do something, but even the 43 not giving up. Closing in on Doss one last time. There's the caution flag.
So halfway through this one, lap 75 of 150. We're going to take a pause here. As you see a very dejected Lenny White, who's gone to win this event 2 years in a row, and something let loose on that 99. You see him signifying to the tow trucks he's going to need to push off. Lenny White not going to be the one to win 3 in a row for the Fall Classics, unfortunately.
When we saw him with the issues going into turn number 1, got hit by those behind him who weren't expected, obviously, the number 99 machine to check up, and he took quite the route down to the infield, almost ended up in one of the inside walls, but was able to bring that car safely to a stop in the middle of the infield, out of the way, and he's coordinating with his Uber driver on a trip back to pit road.
Yeah. Is he going to leave his steering wheel up top and all of his other stuff? No. I mean, he's going to lose stuff on his roof. It just depends on what.
I've left a drink on my roof once, but I can't say I've left a steering wheel up there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the steering wheel's got to be in the car, because I feel like you would know that he needs a steering wheel by now. But
whatever he's trying to turn the shaft, but
yeah,
it's not recommended.
There's other stuff on the roof that he's going to lose, I'm telling you. Looks like it'd be his head and neck device. I don't know. You're probably telling him, dude, you got something on the roof right now.
He's got the wheel in there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got the memo. It's like, oh, Hans device and such.
Also, the pickers are going to join the drivers. I remember this last year.
And we don't have pit road anymore, so they're just going to park him down the back of the inside of the yellow line.
And you can see all the tourists, the Las Vegas tourists, are waiting to greet great drivers. Looks like it's just a bunch of, it's like a tourist bus.
Dropped them off.
Dropped them off at In-N-Out or something. They're all waiting to get in.
And everybody will come to a stop down in 1 and 2. And none of these laps into the yellow counted, so we stopped right at halfway, 75 down, 75 to go by the time we get back.
And here they come.
Okay, so here come all the
Open the floodgates.
Yeah. Run to In-N-Out. Gotta get your burger. It's a good thing they're bringing the heavy stuff downhill, because it'd be no fun.
It'll be fun going uphill. Tech's
Yeah.
uphill, something that we were talking about yesterday. You got to push your car uphill to get the tech in the back, which get your cardio in for the day.
This guy brought his party funnel.
It is Vegas.
That's true. Kelly Barker's crew going to work. You're going to see the 09 of Eshelman's team inspecting the damage. Chris Klein there. So no one's able to touch these cars yet until they give them the green light or the go-ahead, which you might hear over our race control. And when we do give them the go-ahead, like I said, no tire changes, fuel, and minor adjustments. So with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to let you watch some pit action here from the Bullring. And we are halfway through this 150 lap super late model main event.
Front row, and we saw Jeremy Doss on the outside competing with him, and it was very, very, very tough, but Jeremy Doss did make that work. So now we're going to see the opposite. We're going to see Jeremy Doss down on the inside of the front row, and we're going to see if Derek Thorne can make it happen on the outside. Now in the second row on the inside is going to be Jeff Bischofberger.
All right, so single file turns into double file here at the Las Vegas Bullring. 75 laps down, Evan, and 75 more to go. If you were to put money on a driver, who would it be?
I know it's a cop-out, but I like the 75 up front. Doss has been able to drop back and pick back up and stay as a constant up there. But if you thought with all the cars that are on the flatbed that the opening 75 laps were exciting, just wait.
Well, if I was a gambling man and I see the spread from the weekend, it would be hard to not put money on that 43, being that however many times we've seen him win here at the Bullring, that 43 always shows up. Campbell Motorsports with a strong car for Derek Thorne. So it looks like the both of us are going to have to bet against each other right now on this restart lap 75. Notable drivers all throughout this field. Who knows who's saving as we get ready to go back to the green. Drag race down in turns number 1 and 2. Thorne on the outside, Doss on the inside. Who's going to lead lap 76? It'll be Doss.
That battle was the reverse of what we had seen with those two the last couple of restarts. This time 75 inside to take the advantage. So they single file out to the top 5. First battle is right there for P6. The 83 of Braden Havens has it, and Noah Gregson wants it. Top side not friendly though to the 8 car.
And Noah knows this track like the back of his hand. He can probably close his eyes and run about the next 74 laps. But he will slip back on the outside and have Beasley now right below him. So that 1 spot miss can make it a 2 spot loss.
Beasley and Gregson, 2 notable hometown guys as well. Want to stay inside of the top 10. That 27's not going to have any sympathy for the gate topside to get back by again. Beasley started this race from pole, led the first couple of laps, and he's going to be able to get by Gregson. The 8 machine still stuck topside because at 11, going to throw it back down to the bottom as they fight for 8th.
Well, now he's clear. He can get back down, but like I said, lost 2 spots. Top 3 under a blanket. Well, they were out of turn 4.
And waiting for Bischofberger to make that extra step. He's been there 3rd and 4th in the mix, and as you said, a part of this 3-way battle for the race lead. But's looking for a little bit extra as we see side by side now for 4th. Johnson under attack. That 20 of Raz to the inside. Pushed a little bit high at 2, forced the 10 into space, and a big hit.
Huddleston getting into the back bumper of Havens and noses it hard on the exit of turn number 2. A head-on crash. You can see the major damage. Havens moving around, and I can already see him throwing some stuff. What a impact.
And because of, again, we've been talking about how that racetrack works with that pit exit there, but that's a lot more of a flat wall, which ends up as a sharper impact angle. But he's out of the car. What's left of it, at least.
And I would believe that the luckiest thing for both he and Huddleston is that they are completely on the opposite ends of the track, because that was wild.
Spotter's not happy about it either.
No. That's the fun part about standing next to the spotters. Well, let me dial up a replay as a cleanup being done. Happy to see Braden Havens. Not the happiest camper jumping out of the car, but crew's going to have to bring that 83 back home in pieces.
I can't repeat what the spotters were saying to each other.
Can you give us an idea?
There was a lot of finger pointing.
Yeah. Fingers north and or fingers
An assortment
east and
of
west?
fingers.
Oh, okay.
North, south, east, west. And a lot of one-syllable words.
Gotcha. Here's a replay
left,
here.
Left the spotter stand.
20 machine making a move, but Huddleston gets into the back of Havens. Havens hard into the wall.
And we've seen contact like that in the corner many times tonight, and it hasn't led to anything like that, but I think the contact, obviously when you try to save it, you're going to turn that wheel to the right. And as soon as that happens, that car kind of grips back up. And for Havens, you see right there he gets loose. Those wheels are turned to the right, but it grips back up very quickly. And next thing he knows, I don't know if he got hit again, but that car then ends up actually spinning the other way around.
And head on. That is a sudden stop right there.
And again, because that wall goes straight back to the pits and doesn't line up with the wall in turn 2, it's a lot harder of an impact angle.
Let me go back and show this one more time, because there is something that I've never seen in my life happen in this one. Have you ever seen the front of a car end up in the back trunk? Take a look here. See Huddleston hard in the corner, gets into the back of Havens, picks up that back end, and around it goes. But watch the hood. Ready? This doesn't look any better every time I show it. But watch the hood now. It is completely the hood. Right now is
the hood and the nose
are connected, right? Still connected in front of the car, but then it frisbees over and lands exactly where the tow truck drivers would put it.
Yeah. Make their job easier. I'm sure if he could get a spoiler that big on the back, he would, but not going to help him out much at this point.
I'll show that one more time at speed just to...
At speed, you can tell how hard of a hit it is.
Yeah. So an unfortunate crash for Havens. Huddleston, you figure that was not intentional by any means. And a big impact for Havens. He's done for the night.
That's the aftermath.
That's all that's left, pretty much.
Turn to dust. And under the red flag again.
Yes, sir.
And we said second 75 laps would be exciting. 7 laps into it. And we're stopped again. And that takes, again, another car from up front. I said the top 4 have been about clear of this all night long, and that kind of rings true with this because the incident happened at a battle for about 5th. But takes another car out of the equation from up front. It's really helping those folks that have been hanging out just inside of the top 10, just outside of the top 10, and have been avoiding these accidents to pick up. It's been at least now 5-6 spots just from cars dropping out of this race alone.
I was going to say, just that itself. Remember how many cars we started with?
24.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cars left on the racetrack.
Some of the cars look a lot better now than they did before that break. Got some cosmetic repairs. Take the sheet metal down.
Comes the tractor to help brush in the issues. Yeah, one thing that I love, and this is just my own evilness, I guess, is when we are located directly next to the spotters and there's some sort of a rivalry going on.
It was not very cordial, I can tell you that much.
All right, folks, we're getting it cleaned up.
And not only is the immediate thought, you cost me a shot at $15,000, but
Yeah,
now my car's junk too.
exactly. Risk versus reward, unfortunately. It's all part of that racing game.
Does it say you got to risk it to get the biscuit?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that Scotty Gammarini is going to get the lucky dog on this yellow flag, and that is finally going to put him back on the lead lap. He's made up, I believe, 3 laps so far. 3 laps down after that incident. So our winningest driver ever right here at the Bullring is going to be back on the lead lap, and hopefully be able to compete. Okay, our fire and safety folks are checking out the track, and we are getting ready for a 150 lap, $15,000 to win Senators Cup Open Comp Race. One of the best races of the whole year right here at the Bullring. Our local favorite, JP, number 27.
All right, Evan, you ready for the main event? Because I am.
43 is Derek Thorne. 75 is Jeremy Dawes.
It's time to get going here from the Bullring. 150 laps of open comp action at the Senators Cup Fall Classic. Some people make $15,000 a year. Some people make $15,000 a day. Some people make $15,000 an hour. One of these drivers is going to have to make $15,000 in just 150 laps. Definitely one of the events that we circle on our calendar. A fun one out here. Super late models hit the track. Notables in this one, the top 2 fast qualifiers. Derek Thorne starts 3rd based off of an invert. So he was a track record breaker, as well as Jeremy Dawson, the 75. Those top 2 breaking the track record. Lenny White in the number 99 looking to go 3 in a row. Oh boy, the storylines and the competition all throughout this field. Ready when you are.
And starting it off from up front, the number 27. Hometown driver of Jay Beasley will start from pole position. As you just noted, 99 and Lenny White to join him on the front row, the number 99. Derek Thorne and Jeremy Doss make up row number 2, starting 3rd and 4th respectively. The 66B of Jeff Bishopberger will start 5th, with Rod Johnson's number 10 rolling from P6. Austin Herzog will start tonight at 7th position. Outside of row 4 joining him, the 12 of Brad Kosau. You got Trevor Huddleston starting 9th tonight, Justin Johnson in 10th, and another big name in this one, that bright orange on the 8 of Noah Gregson. Will start from 11th and be joined by Braden Havens. Row number 6 to 27M of John Moore starts tonight in 13th position, with Scott Gaffarini in 14th. Chris Klein, 15th position. Ryan Vargas in 16th. Brian Grandin, 17th tonight. Brittany Zamora in 18th position, with Kayla Eschleman in 19th. Brandon White in 20th. Kaylee Barker qualifying in through those B features earlier tonight, 21st, with Mitch Klein in 22nd, Warren Nipper in 23rd, and Grayson Raz in 24th position. This look top to bottom at your starting grid.
So Grayson Raz in the number 2.
Here they come, doubled up, 2 by 2. Battle for the race lead is going to be between Doss on the inside and the 43 of Thorne on the outside. Fighting for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th as well, but it looks like the 75 will clear for P1. And 43 slides into 2nd. Bischofberger going to get 3rd over top of the Tedderod Johnson. So Johnson drops 1 on the restart, maybe 2 or more. The 20 machine of Grayson Raz to his inside. Completing that move now opens up the door for Noah Gregson. Somebody else who has been taking advantage as some of the cars dropping out in front and so on and so forth. Gregson race high P5. That time by the start finish line. Doesn't have the spot all to himself. Still dealing with Johnson topside, but now clears him in a 2.
And Grayson Raz, I want to touch on this. He's at 4th spot right now. He started at the tail of the A main qualifiers because Mullis, who brought this car to the track to race it, was, I don't know if he was kicked out or he was asked to leave or if he just offered up his race car to Grayson Raz. But either way, Raz from the tail of the A main qualifiers up to 4th. So he is definitely the biggest mover in this race. Bischofberger still applying the pressure to the back bumper of Thorne through the corners. Now back here. Oh, Huddleston and Klein. Escherman get to the back.
Everybody collects it, hangs on. Huddleston, the 8 machine right there as well behind him. 8B, Brandon. This goes to show you that fighting going on top to bottom throughout the field. Biggest difference in payout, P1 and P2 obviously, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to fight for everything.
There might be a rivalry going on between these two, the blue 50 and the 14 of Chris Klein and Huddleston. So I looked over and then I turned the cam to it. And either the 14 got out of the throttle in the center of the corner or he tapped the brakes, but it definitely changed up a lot there for a split second. Huddleston has been applying the pressure to the back bumper of the 14. I'm not too sure if Klein appreciates it.
Got to nose his time, and he will make that pass. Change for position. Turn number 4 in favor of the 50 of Trevor Huddleston. And the field's almost broken up into 2 groups here. Battle for the race lead, though, still very much occupied. Jeremy Doss up front. 43 of Garrett Thorne, P2. And that's 666B of Bischofberger. Having taken 3rd away from Lieutenant Johnson off of the restart right there as well. Looks like a challenge maybe from P2 may be imminent. The 66 looking hungry.
Bischofberger has been trying to put the pressure on the 43. Thorne doesn't slip up too easily. Jeremy Doss, your leader, has been racing here at the Bullring for many years, and especially a lot in the last 2 years with legend car racing and these stock cars. So Doss knows this track very well. I'm showing it right now.
50 laps to go this time. 100 in the books. 2/3 distance. 50 laps away from $15,000 if everything stays his way. Longer we stay green, closer they're going to get up to some of this lap traffic as we jump back on board with folks towards the tail end of the lead lap here. Still very much engaged in a fight.
Gaffarini in the 38. He's got the number 8 right behind him, the 8B, trying to make a move around the 38. that bumper if needed.
When Brandon lost that spot to him off of the restart, so the AP wants to be able to get it back. Gaffarini, but I think that 38 machine's intentions might be set just in front of him. The 14 to Chris Klein, as opposed to worrying about the guys behind him trying to scrap. Fight for P10.
Oh, Gaffarini sideways. Snaps loose on the exit of 4. He does not lose any time to anybody. This is the best battle on track. Haley Barker and the number 34, 09 of Kayla Eschelman. Doing nose to tail there. Also, I want to sneak up here. We got Zamora and Herzog. 52 and 11. Battling 7th. They're both bringing in on the back bumper of the 10 of Johnson.
It's been a tough go for Johnson since the restart, because when we got back in the way, he was only on row number 2, and since falling back, how about 3 wide, thinking about it? And the 11 machine first in the corner against the inside.
Yeah, Johnson, I wonder if that halfway break, they adjusted something and went the wrong way. Because he was going up to that halfway break, picking him off. Now he's giving him back.
Cars working around some lap traffic up on the outside.
The leaders coming into frame. They're closing in on these two. Gaffarini and Barker were the next victims to go a lap down. By the 75 of Dawes.
Parker's been basically following tonight step for step that Onan in front of her. Really haven't been able to get away from each other much. Hasn't been able to get close enough to fight for that spot, but it's Kayla Eschelman and Kaylee Barker fighting. And then those two both are going to get caught by the 75 of the Dawes. It's coming in hot. That's the gap right now, right there between P1 and 2. Thorne still trailing.
Oh, and Johnson, whatever it was, just broke. And Zamora just gets passed by Huddleston. So you called it, Evan. That thing was slipping back after the break.
It's a tough go at it. 75 laps, so good up until that point, and it is a long race, longest of any of the features that we've seen tonight by more than triple the distance. Car and the equipment's got to make it all the way.
Klein, man, he's not giving up. He's got no front end. He's still racing with us, picking up a lot of spots that a lot of drivers left when they left on the track.
Call him the Batmobile, the number 1 car.
Yeah. Kind of half modified, half stock car.
See, the 75 race leader's been able to get around Kaylee Barker, so she goes 1 lap down. I believe first lap down tonight. P2's going to follow suit as well. But now your leader's really in the thick of things. He's had a lap car here, a lap car there, and all of this excitement is now right on his doorstep. And he does have some of an advantage back to Derek Thorne in P2. He's got to make a conscious decision. How easy and how careful is he going to be getting around this as he goes to the inside of Eschelman without much issue as she moves up and gives him the inside. But how do you manage how aggressive you want to be in regards to how much time are you willing to give up?
Oh, trouble for Beasley. He's off the pace now.
Right in front of us, loud pop, and that car now coasting to the inside. He started on pole and has had a lot more of a long and slow slide down this scoring pylon tonight. And one of the local drivers, Beasley's not going to make it to the end. That's 2 cars, DNFs in the last 5 laps.
This is a 150 lap race. You can call it a 150 lap endurance race, and you're seeing how it plays out. A lot of these cars are unable to get to the finish line in this one.
2 pieces of lap traffic in between first and second. And 43 machine is the driver currently scored P2. Derek Thorne's been there for the better part of the evening. Looks to get by Eschelman, and He's able to do so. Next step would be to get him to the AP of Brian Grandin. And it actually looks like the lap traffic helping Jeremy Doss up front. He's pulled quite a bit, got by those cars a lot quicker than the 43 is.
Well, Doss is chopping through him pretty good. He's going to close in on local racer, the 14 of Chris Klein. Chris Klein has had all different types of luck that you can have here at the Bullring. And unfortunately going to go a lap down. The number 14 machine to Doss. It seems like once we got single file and into this race, this long green flag run, Doss has really been able to stretch his legs and show what he's got. 1-4 to go. No, I'm way up. No trouble.
Spinner in turn 2.
Zamora in the 52.
And a tough break for her. She had just gotten into the top 10.
Something tells me
Damage is not a coincidence.
So Herzog got into the back of the 52. Zamora fires it up and continues on. Well, we go under the yellow once more. 128 of 150. So this race, like you were talking about, we got a real good green flag run there. This will bring it to a halt.
Might have been the last good green flag run to the end.
Yes. Yes, I think we win more green flag laps in that run than we have probably gone collectively in Super Late Model racing this weekend. That was mark it down as the longest green flag run because there's no chance we can beat it. We've only got
22 and less, depending on how many more laps they wind down here under the yellow.
Exactly. So Chris Klein going to get the lucky dog. The 14 machine goes to the tail of the field. I believe that puts him back on the lead lap. Endurance race, and you were talking about lap traffic. Jeff and I were here years ago to date ourselves a little bit. This driver now races in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with 2 Daytona wins. Ryan Reed lost a Fall Classic in the Super Late Model race by a lapper. He went to go pull up behind to lap that particular driver. That driver decided, you know what? I think I'm going to pit right now. I think he also had mechanical issues, but Reed had no chance but to run into the back bumper and lost by a dominating lead, close to what we see Doss have. And that was it. Wiped himself out. Not his own doing, but just circumstance. That lap traffic can play an important role.
Just as much of a factor as those on the lead lap. Something you got to work with.
Yep.
It's an X or a Y factor in this race.
Well, we're going to restart this one at around even 20-lap shootout. 130 of 150. $15,000 on stake. For Doss, Thorne, Bischofberger, Graz. We also have Gregson there, Huddleston. All in the mix to take home some money from the Senator. And again, we're happy to be here covering this event. You're live on lowbudget.tv, and we're very happy to have you with us joining us here in the stands at the Bullring. Hopefully you're having a good time watching how this one's going to play out. I don't know about you, Evan, but it's not because we have to stand, but I would be standing if I was just one of these people here in the stands.
There's going to be a lot of heads as we come on the front straightaway as everybody gets up, because $15,000 check. On top of the fact that it's a super late model, 20 lap to go shootout, and that in itself is excited enough, but there's a lot on the line. And a lot of the people, at least here at the track, have an investment. If they're from here, just checking out the action, but for those who have traveled here, there's only one guy they want to win, one guy or gal that they want to take the checkered flag, so they will be invested in the closing laps of this thing.
Well, look at this car. The one machine of Klein not giving up, man. He's pulled into the pits about every caution.
He's gone up to P8 with that. He's actually back on the lead lap now.
Awesome. Hey, man. How would you feel if this car beats you?
Refrain from comment.
It's part of that endurance race field to this Fall Classic.
Lights out this time. Coming to 20 laps to go. Next time by the start-finish line.
This is going to be a very interesting restart.
20 laps to go. Doss and Thorne again on the front row. Gonna have to go through the gears and into turn number 1, Evan. We'll see what happens.
Could be for the final time. 130 down, 20 laps to go. We're off and away. Jeremy Doss in control inside of the front row, has had to deal with this kind of a side-by-side battle. Derek Thorne, a thorn in his side on these restarts almost every single time. And they'll single file out for 1 and 2. Far from over.
Contact in the back. That's a battle for 4th.
Gregson in race high P5 and trying to get to 4th first time tonight if he can. Maybe a little bit of a late race spurt for the driver who has won at this track this year in the Super Late Model. So if you're going to peak, the end of the race is the time to do it. You'd have to get through that 66B of Bischoff Burger though first. Challenge going to come from behind that 20 of Grayson Raz. Trying to get to the inside. He'll convince Gregson to give him a spot, and he wants to keep 4 back side by side for 4th and 5th position. And again, it's just so hard on the outside, especially in turn 2. And he's going to get that spot back, and now the 50 jumping into the party of Huddleston. So Gregson jumps up to 4th, now falls back down to P6.
Line to the inside of the number 14 machine. He makes a pass. Smooth pass. 8 going to try to fight back there for a split second. No can do. Well, Evan, do you think a lot of these cars are settled in where they're going to finish? Do you think anybody's got anything left in the tank? I'm fairly certain a lot of these cars are spent.
There's a big gap behind Gregson. P6 and into P7's a big gap. You almost got this field split up in two, where I think the folks in the back here are just trying to get what they can, but I've had enough time. 138 laps complete is plenty of time to kind of float your way to where you belong in the running order. And even up front, it's a tall order. You look at the gaps between the 75, 43, the 66, the 20, and the 50. And there's that big gap.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's where the difference maker is.
We've set different packs of racing here. And if you're Thorne right now, you have 10 laps to go to try to get to the back bumper of the 75 to have a shot to win it. But with 140 laps on these tires, no tire changes under the halfway break, it's hard to get a little extra out of what's left. If you had a virtual meter, they'd be in the red. Contact.
Not necessarily a square shot at a bump and run, but the quarter panel does the trick.
Well, you bumped, now you better start running.
You got to get going. The 20 machine will do exactly what you did. Right back at you. Something tells me 4th and 5th, not yet settled, but for the meantime, Huddleston does get that spot. Lost a lot of time in doing so, though, to turn on back.
Big battle starting now here.
14's in a fight every single time we find that car. Chris Klein either cannot get away from somebody or is always moving, but and he's got some help from behind. Thought maybe that the 09 of Echelon was going to push him into the car in front. She wants to get going too.
Well, trouble in the back corner. I thought they were going to start wrecking. I don't know if they
there he goes.
And a hard hit fire from the exhaust. Chris Klein.
That car did not turn at all when it got down to turn 3.
Definite right front flat out of the 14 of Chris Klein as he hammers the wall into turn number 3. And out for the night as we will have ourselves a 5-lap shootout in this one.
That's what, $3,000 per lap?
Yeah, absolutely. Most important 5 laps of your life right now. Waiting on Chris Klein to give us a signal that he's okay. That was a nasty hit to the right front. All that contact with him racing. Easy to guess what happened on that issue.
And I think he knew that that car wasn't going to make it because he was able to slow it down a good bit. But it's still, again, you can see it hit the wall and then bounced back down to where it rests now. So despite the fact that he was able to get some speed out of it, still a hard hit, and climbing out of the car looks okay.
What a bummer. That just adds to his crazy luck here at the Fall Classic.
One more restart, hopefully. One more opportunity for Derek Thorne, for Jim Bishopberger, maybe even Trevor Huddleston to try to make a move to steal that $15,000 right out from under Jeremy Doss.
Here's a look at the replay. The inside of Herzog, that could have been the start of it. Back low, a little bit more contact, possibly.
It's tough to tell if there's a little bit of smoke coming off of that front, but right there.
That had to have been it, right there. And along for the ride goes Klein into the wall.
Because that was very much not the bumper, and that was a little bit further back right by that tire. We'll get a good look if it comes by, but looks like it was right front issue.
One hell of a battle there with Herzog and Eshelman.
Well, she wanted to get going. He was fighting pretty hard, and he was getting a push from behind, so he was almost a ping pong ball in the middle of that, but right there, you got to think is where it happened. And Eshelman's lucky. I don't know if she saw that coming or it just decided to drop back down in line, but they were essentially 2 by 2 down the back, and if she stayed committed to the top side, that would have been 2 wrecked race cars.
So a tough break for Klein. As we're going to have 5 laps to go. Putting a lot of speedy dry down. Now Chris Klein's stepping back in. He's going to get back to racing.
Figures he can maybe drive it out or just, depending on how they want to take him out of here, navigate that vehicle.
That's probably it. He's probably going to have to be the steer.
As long as the steering wheel is on the car.
Exactly.
No belts on top. But a lot of speedy dry down, making sure that that stuff never started to roll all the way down the track so they didn't have to red flag it. Cars could keep rolling.
And wouldn't you know, we're down to 13 cars left.
Almost half.
Almost.
What we started with.
Yep.
Not that I'm saying we want to see one more to get there, but I'm
No,
just a statement of fact.
Yep.
That one more car would get us to half. Just a statement of fact.
Nearly half the field is out of this race due to attrition or carnage. So if you are at home right now watching live and you want to make plans to be here next year for the annual Senators Cup Fall Classic. We'd love to have you here next to us. Second best option is to watch on lowbudget.tv. It's going to be an interesting last 5 laps. Thorne.
Well, they're starting single file, too.
Yeah. And
which I think is the biggest thing.
Les, Thorne, and we forget the move that Doss did to get to the lead. And we're going to be restarting this thing with 5 to go, single file. Well, that would just put the back bumper of the 75 right up against the front bumper.
Just lines it up nice for you.
Yeah, right?
Nice and straight as they head down to turn 1.
This is the Bullring, and it's been known to have some wild finishes and some good rivalries and some drivers you just don't forget, like Jimmy Spencer. But Doss has been on a tear once he got past the 43 of Thorne, as well as his teammate Bischofberger in the 66. That team.
I don't think they've left 1 and 3 for quite some time.
They've kept Thorne right in where they want him, I guess.
And at least the way they run now is Doss still up at a race lead, followed by the 43, Derek Thorne P2, Jeff Bischofberger, just talking about the 66B in 3rd. 50 machine scored right now P5. That Trevor Huddleston, Grayson Raz in the number 5 spot. Noah Gregson behind in 6th. The 11 of Austin Herzog in 7th. With the 14 machine now no longer in this race. So it'll resort to Kayla Eshelman, who's going to jump up to 8th. Kaylee Barker's going to go to 9. And the AP of Brian Grandin will round out your top 10.
Got some finger puppets.
Was that a rabbit?
I don't know what that was. I was trying to figure it out. I figured they were getting ready for Christmas with some reindeer. You see the flag man, 1 to go. Turns out the lights.
Okay, we're going to do a single file restart.
Maybe. The lights are still on. But he gave him the 1 to go with a stick.
Just practicing.
Yeah, he was just getting him ready. There's a pit boss down below. Everybody ready to greet the winner in the next 5 laps.
Where's the check at?
Yeah, they're probably got to wait to figure out who to write it to.
The check's still up top.
There it is. All right, Jeremy Doss bringing this field back to the green flag. He's got to get through the gears without getting run over. Everybody. Another shot.
It's 5 laps left to go to give away $15,000 in Vegas. Green flag back in the air. Challenge already on for 3rd, but there it is for the race lead. Thorne with the bumper. He'll go side by side to the inside as they head down the back straightaway. And Jeremy Doss, top side, wants to pay him back, but the crossover is not going to work for the time being. And we'll go again with Thorne at the line.
Moving him up the track, crossover, engaging Thorne. He's going to fight back now.
Oh, and there's another bumper, so 3rd piece of contact between the two. Side by side, they come to the line. Do not forget about the 66B behind, but the 75 couldn't get back to the bumper that time in 2. It has to make up a car length now. A new race leader, Derek Thorne.
And that restart, those bumper tags, got it all back together for the 43 of Thorne, as he is now driving away from the 75. Though I don't think Doss is done yet. White flag waves, 1 more to go.
The question you have to ask yourself is how hard do you drive it into the corner for $15,000. Derek Thorne restarted P2, but he's pulling away into the sunset, and he will be clear at a turn number 4 and take the Senators Cup win. So many times in this race, Jeremy Doss had to restart, and he nailed every single one. But on that final one, with the assist to the bumper, and you can see the lack of appreciation between those two, there was a lot of contact, and I think Jeremy Doss wants to have a conversation.
Yeah, Jeremy threw the steering wheel on the dash. He dropped that window net.
Derek Thorne says you can chat, but meet me in Victory Lane.
I honestly thought that was a bump of good job, congratulations.
Maybe the first one, but when you get 2, 3, and then they park it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of love in between that. And again, you expect there to be contact, and there's a 75. Going to pull alongside him, and I'm sure that they've got words. But at the end of the day, only one driver is walking away with the check. But it was his 43, made the first move, bumped the 75 up and out of the way, one bump and got the spot. And obviously, Doss going to pay him back. And Doss got the bumper, got the quarter panel, got the door to get back by him. You got to expect the 43s coming back at you.
I mean, you've got to. This is short track racing, and those two weren't playing nice all the race long. And we're going to send it downstairs for the Victory Lane interview with your Senators Cup Fall Classic 2017 champion, Derek Thorne.
Nice job, Derek. Let me grab you real quick. Congrats on the win. That was a heck of a interesting last 5 laps. And can you just talk about what was going through your head?
Well, there's no doubt when we get past that little entrance right there, there's going to be a lot of F-bombs thrown our way from a couple guys. But, we didn't come here to make friends. He set a precedence the first few laps. He used me up when he didn't need to. And, it's one of them things where you keep in the back of your mind, and it just happened to work out in our favor.
Did you make a little contact with the front stretch wall here in a couple of those laps?
I don't think so. Actually, the Hoosier's still on there, maybe with the 75. But I think the wall, me and the wall stayed out of touch today.
How do you feel winning this event here in the 15 grand in Vegas?
Man, it just played into our hands. It was one of them races. The 75 had a good car all race. Like I said, he used us up early, and he didn't necessarily need to at the time. And, I got nothing for the kid, but, I just can't thank Byron and Carol Campbell enough for such a great opportunity to come here. We didn't have a chance, with 5:10 to go, got that caution. And I am excited as heck, man. This one feels good. We worked hard for this, and this goes to the crew guys, Mike Keane, Scott Sanchez, Sal Arceo, Scott Frenchimone, Byron and Carol Campbell, like I said, all of our sponsors and people here supporting us. We come out here to try to win and not make friends, and tonight was one of them nights, and hopefully we can go home and celebrate.
You won here before in the past. What do you like about this track so much?
I think it just suits our style, and it's 4 or 5 hours from home, and we just have I've run a lot of laps here. Mike Keane's got a really good package for this place, and to come out here and run. Come out here and run. So I'm getting some fans. come out here and run with these guys at this track. I love this place. So to have you guys here, your fans for coming out and supporting us all the time, we appreciate it.
All right, I think the Senator has some hardware for you. Right here. Yeah, everybody get in there, Pit Boss. Pit Boss, get on the other side. There you go.
Well, the trophy's being handed over. The
go.
check is right there with them. What a fun weekend, Evan.
Well, to a point that you made at the start of this race, I believe you said, talking about these guys, 43 and the 75, that's not something that you're going to forget. If somebody moves you out of the lane, the first thing he says in Victory Lane, referring to the little bit of contact earlier, he used me up. And he sat there P2, he ran with them. They avoided contact for 120 laps after that first bit, but he never forgot.
Yep.
And saved it up for those final 5 laps.
It was an incredible duel between Doss and Thorne. Thorne got the upper hand there at the end of this one, but a fun weekend all along. Friday night, it was all about the heat races to get into tonight's 150-lap Super Late Model feature, as well as all the local divisions. And then tonight, we had to do a B main to really set the tail end of the field, who was going to be in the main, who was going home. And then throughout all the rest of the local divisions, fun battles throughout all of them, good hard racing, and then it came to the Super Late Model finale. Out here, the 150-lap Senators Cup Fall Classic, and it was a barn burner. I mean, there was action from start to finish, carnage. You had everything in this race, and coming away from it, the number 43 from Bakersfield, Derek Thorne, comes home $15,000 richer.
Okay,
Bell
folks, I want
Motorsports.
to thank everybody for coming.
It's not a bad night, and it was exciting top to finish on the night. Cody Kimberly winning in the Bandoleros, Kyle Jacks winning in the Bombers, Zachary St. Ange in the Super Trucks, Jesse Love in the Midgets, Neil Schneider in the Super Stocks, and then, of course, start to finish in these Super Lates, no doubt, but can't not love that 5-lap shootout. That's about everything that short track race it is. Under the lights, a big prize on the line, and 2 drivers who refuse to lose, but at the end of the day, only one name fits on the check.
Well, we're done here. That's it. All the safety vehicles pulling off the track. Thorne's getting in his car to take it to tech or whatever he's doing next with it. I think he's just going to take it to the bank and go and do that deposit.
Where do you check or where do you cash a check like that?
I don't know. I've never had the chance to try, but
Can't speak from experience
yeah,
either.
exactly. But a fun weekend here on lowbudget.tv. And again, thank you all of you viewers supporting us and getting us out here to Vegas. And until next time, we're going to have some fun. Our next event on our calendar is the 300-lap Outlaw Figure 8 race in Orange Show Speedway. Hope to have all of you come join us there for some wild figure 8 action on the quarter-mile figure 8 course. But, Evan, you've done a fantastic job this weekend. I appreciate your help.
Appreciate the invite.
And we'll send it home. From all of us at Low Budget TV, Race Feed X, and the group, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you at the races.